everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into my tarot channel today. I wanted to give a different kind of reading than I've been giving. I've been picking up on some really intense, like, negative energies, and I felt like a different sort of thought stream come through, and I wanted to share that reading with you today. So I'm not going to title it until the ending because I don't want to start with a concept in mind. I'm just going to be open. So what do we need to know from the universe today? What do we need to know? Ooh. Oh, we already did that card yesterday. Let's do that card. Okay, what do we need to know from the greater universe, from God? Ooh. Oh, we keep getting Son of Air. Okay, so I guess we really do need this card. I just tried to not get it twice, and I've already gotten it before, so trying to control it, I guess. But Son of Air, there could be something within you that is like a new way of thinking, a new thought, a new like beginning of your identity. And it's exciting, and it's mental, and it's detached from emotion. We were sitting in some really icky stuff the last couple of days. I did some readings about suicidality, about crisis, and I'm really glad I did those because now we're here. Okay. And sorry, I see the readings as an evolution, and like each one has like a sort of kernel that leads to the next one, and I can't see it until later. So that's why when you fall, you have to get up. So we had the negative suicidal crisis thoughts yesterday and the day before that I was addressing, and now we're back up and we're mental. That's what I'm sensing in you. 2 of Fire, will. Ooh, yeah, will. What do I will? That is one of the things in the Witch's Pyramid, is to will. And these are obviously arrows because this is the Native American deck. So that would be 2 of Fire. I don't know what that would be in the Rider-Waite. What I'm not sure what would fire. Oh, wands. Wands would be fire. Sorry. So this could be some like indecision or a choice, something, deciding between 2 options, a duality. Maybe you're thinking, I was like that and now I have to be like this. Maybe you're thinking, I lived there, now I have to live here. There may be a situation where you have to like radically change your life, maybe even completely relocate. So there's comparison, there's how do I want my life to be? And the traditional Rider-Waite version is of a person standing in between 2 poles, denoting a choice. Okay. Ace of Air and the Feather. This is the image I saw when I was doing psychic, I still do, but obviously, but I had a psychic image of a floating feather, and this is really what I saw. I didn't even know this was in this deck, actually. I hadn't looked at all the cards yet, but I talked about that in one of my other recent readings. An ace, the ace is about beginning, and the air will relate to the swords, in the traditional Rider-Waite. So it's really the One of Swords. You are taking action in some way, mentally, and in terms of like being on your own, like this individuality, this new sense of self, and it's about inspired action. I always see the Ace of Swords as relating to King Arthur's court, when the boy takes this sword, like the book, the boy takes the sword, and it has like some power. So righteous self-empowerment is what I'm getting. I don't know what that means for you, but it has to do with mental thought process is what I'm getting with all the air cards. It has to do with choice, and it has to do with what was the other card we got? Selfhood. Being on your own. being alone. Ace of Fire. Wow. More cards denoting self-reliance, being just, one body, being really truly on your own. The Ace of Fire is about passion and all the fire signs. Obviously, the fire signs can really be about spirituality in a different way. We see the water signs as being the like spiritual, emotional ones, but the fire signs, it's really about the activation of life, of activation of the spirit. Right now we're in a Sagittarius, which I think I've said before can be symbolized as really just an open flame, and Aries is the spark, and then Sagittarius is the flame that holds steady. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just thinking right now about some experiences that you may be going through. Sorry, let me be quiet sometimes if I'm in my thoughts. Very interior person. I'm an INFP, so it's a lot for me to put myself out there like this, but I feel called to do it. 5 of Water, loss. Oh, I was gonna say about the fire signs. So Aries is the spark. Leo is sort of playing with fire. They're the child who's... Aries is a baby, symbolizing the birth of the universe. The great fire, the Agni, is that what they call it in Hinduism? The great fire that sparks creation is Aries. Leo is the child that plays with that fire to create, to make art or things. And then Sagittarius is a sustainer of the flame that lends itself towards philosophy and what do we use the flame to see, if that makes sense. That's why Sagittarius is known for being a philosophical sign. They're using that bright light to see through the darkness of the world, is one interpretation of the fire signs. That may be meaningful for you in your life right now. Oh, we got more air signs. I feel like I just need to shuffle more because we're getting so many air signs. Obviously, there's a lot of mental processes going on here. Oh. 8 of Air. Oh my god. Some of these got stuck together. Whoops. Okay, I got a kind of bunch of cards because they were all stuck together. I'm going to count it as one. So we got 8 of Air, Interference. We got Transformation. There's an owl on it. This was a hawk. We got Small Medicine Wheel. We got the Moon. And we got 8 of Water, Stagnation. You have felt very pushed down in your life by a situation. I don't know what it is. You insert here. I'm not gonna speculate, but you have felt oppressed by something, and it has made you feel like I can't do anything, and that's not true. There may have been trauma or like PTSD that had you in fight or flight or in a frozen state, like what is it? Freeze, like a parasympathetic freeze state or something. I don't really know the term. Trauma can cause these things in our bodies. And so you may have had something happen where for months you were like, well, that's the end of my life. And then those feelings subsided. You kind of like worked it out. And now you're like, oh, life keeps going. Actually, it does keep going. Medicine Wheel. The circle, the wheel is turning. I just have to relate this to the Wheel of Fortune. I worked for this place called Medicine Wheel years ago. I'm not going to get into it. Okay, I am going to get into it. That's what this brought up for me. I used to work as a teacher with kids, and I had to quit that because it was really negative for me. I found that the administrative staffs, wherever I worked, I tried working at several places. The first place I worked at a grad school was a place called Medicine Wheel. that was like for underadvantaged youth to have like arts in the schools. And I tried these jobs. I'd be like, well, that place is awful. They treat people horribly. Let me try this other place. And I did that, like job hopped for years with varying degrees. Like sometimes it was part-time, sometimes it was temp, sometimes it was a full-time job. It is the hardest. I can't do that. I refuse to do that anymore because the kids, it's like babysitting. The kids don't care. And you have to clean up after them. And even then when there are redeeming moments, it is spoiled. Like even if you have good things happening with the kids, the admin is completely disorganized. They in any of these situations, they yell at you, they blame you. Why am I telling you my professional experiences? Okay, because I was like, I'm not gonna do this anymore. I'm not gonna be treated this way. I'm not a servant. I love kids and I love art and I love teaching. I love learning. But I learned by putting myself in those situations that I can't fix a broken system. I can't have us do art projects when all we have is copy paper. I can't magically create students who don't have wild disabilities that shouldn't be in this class, that should be in a special needs school. I can't do any of that, and yet it's put upon you a lot of times in that profession. So I had to turn the wheel in my life and be like, no, this is not what I'm gonna do. And I'll tell you, it's been a lot of really tough couple of years of just being really clear that I'm not gonna do that anymore, and here's why. And it's okay to not know what I'm gonna do yet. Make it work, figure it out. Like they say in Project Runway, that's what I've had to do, make it work. And it's been really tough, but you know what? You have to do that too in your life. You have to look at what environment are you in where the wheel could be turned. You could change. The wheel can also be about seasons. I mean, this may be a season where you've been disadvantaged and you must make choices, like the Ace of Swords card that we got, the Ace of Air, whatever, the feather. You must be emboldened and make choices and actions, not just stay in your thoughts. That's where we started getting the fire. The fire is about action. We got the Ace of Fire. The Ace of Wands is about mental action. The fire is physical, doing something to change my life. And then we got transformation. So there's a real trance here for transformation and change. The owl is relating to Minerva and wisdom. Athena in the Greek, how she's known in Greek mythology. Athena was a goddess who was skilled in the arts of war. So she would teach people. She's also a teacher. She would teach people how to know how to deal with opponents in warfare. There may be a situation where you've had to be like that. You've had to really be on guard. But the moon here, it's a coyote. I saw a coyote the other day by the side of the road. Obviously there's the traditional crab that's usually included in Rider-Waite. The moon obviously, or maybe not obviously, it relates to the sign of Cancer. Or I think that actually is a wolf. I just projected that it was a moon, that it was a coyote. Wow, I'm gonna bring up two things here. So obviously the moon can be about deception, but it can be about Cancer, the sign of Cancer, and home, what's familiar for us, or also the public. But I want to talk slowly. I'm not going to get into the crab thing. It's just related to Cancer. You can look it up. The tides of the water are related to the moon. The tides of the ocean are like dictated by the waxing and waning of the moon. You may be in a situation where you need to realize that, like, this is like seasonal, like things change. Nothing can stay the same. The only constant is change. So just realize this moon, whatever moon you're under now, it's changing, and the tides are going to change, and you're going to change, because we react to the tides as well. I mean, I'm a water sign. I'm seeing it all in this way, but it's all related. These cycles of the earth and the seasons and the weather and the water, it's all related to our cycles. It might not seem that obvious, but it is. Okay, and I was gonna say I was gonna get into some wolf spirit guide stuff, and then I think that's where I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna pull one more card because the wolf was in the moon card, howling at the moon. So wolf is I'm just gonna tell you, it's weird for me because I found this rock while I was hiking. I'm not gonna show you, maybe that's another video, but I thought for months it was a rock, just like a rock, like a memento of my hike that I've been talking about. And I kept it in my car. And I was going through some intense things the last couple of months, and I would sometimes pull it out and just hold it for like, remember that hike and you got to the top of the mountain and you could do it. Come and find out, one day I reached for the rock and I realized it's not a rock, it's a Neolithic jewel. Don't worry, I'm in the process of reaching out to like Yukon or different museums that would like tell me, like confirm my suspicion, but I've done a lot of research and it's been shaved in some parts, and it's been beveled, and it's been sharpened, and it can be held in multiple ways, and it's a tool for it. It's like a rock that is also, it's like fashioned to be used for cutting, for burnishing, for pounding, for hammering, for mashing. It's amazing. It's like amazing. These people were geniuses, and they were living in Neolithic times, and I found it, and I thought it was a simple rock. And also on this rock, my mother pointed out to me, who we don't have the best relationship right now, I'll just say that. I showed her the rock, and as I guess a point of connection, because we're going through some interpersonal stuff right now, and she said she saw a wolf, and there was like a face of a wolf, and sure enough, I looked on both sides. There's etching marks of eyes near what the rock naturally looks like, a snout, and and then on the other side they actually carved what looks like eyes and a snout. So I was terrified, actually, because the moon here could be about some deeper intuition. I had to have my mother point that out to me. I knew the rock was special. I didn't know why. And I took it, and it took me months to understand, because I was in a fog of my own life that I couldn't see those details, that it's actually very valuable. I mean, probably actually financially valuable, but also it's really symbolic for me in my life, and that's why I'm sharing it with you, that the tool is like, you have the tools. Here's a tool showing you how these people had nothing, and they made it work. Second time I mentioned Project Runway. I did see Kristen Siriano the other day at Terrain by accident. I was going to the bathroom, and I didn't say anything. I just gawked, and he knew it was me. But it's the second time I've met him. I saw him at a party once and also didn't say anything because I'm a huge fan of his work. Anyway, why am I mentioning Kristen Siriano? Because the intuition thing, because I was led to Terrain that day because I love beauty, and so was he, to see to buy plants or just look and see if I wanted to, and he was there too, and we came for the same intuitive reason. Actually, he's a Scorpio as well. Not that I'm obsessed with him, sorry. So it was like that with the rock too, like the rock was like telling me, or like these ancient peoples maybe of that land where I was hiking are telling me, like, you have the tools. You have the tool to get through this. And that's what I'm telling you. I'm also, so the wolf as a spirit guide has a lot of, I really just see it as strength for me. And about being resourceful, about being something, also just the greater idea of what wolf has become now. I don't think there's any wolves left in Connecticut, because they've all been killed. They were killed because they were seen as like bad for livestock in like the olden days, and so it's really not like a high population. We have a lot of coyotes, but What is something that is rare, that is fierce, and that is hunted, and that is powerful? You? That is where this was all leading to. But the thing is, the wolf, there are still wolf populations, obviously, in different parts of the world. They just couldn't thrive here in Connecticut. Maybe you are at a place where you're just waking up from a lot of mental and emotional fog, and you're seeing, like I finally could see the tool and say, oh my God, this is not a rock, this is a Neolithic tool. This is amazing. This is amazing. How did I find this? Just intuition. You, just with your intuition, you're finding tools just like that too. And the practice is opening our eyes to the tools we have, which requires a lot of nervous system regulation and a lot of just chill. Netflix and chill. Or maybe you don't like TV, read and chill. Craft and chill. Because that is going to regulate the nervous system so we can see what options we do have. So, sorry, I know this is a little bit of a scattered reading, but I'm really happy with where it ended up, and I'm glad I told you about the Neolithic tool. Next time I'll show it to you. And I am sending all my wishes and all my love to you. I'm so proud of you for coming out of this dark night of the soul that we were in, and for realizing that you have options. We have choices in life. We're not trapped. You know, making a gratitude list could be really helpful right now of what you do have. Maybe it's really basic. I have my lungs. I have my hands. I have feet. I have my brain, and it's working really pretty top notch because I worked through some intense trauma, and good for me. And maybe you're saying that to yourself too.